And we are back, we are modded, and we are ready.
Yes, thank the Lord we are modded. We appreciate your patience there in the chat. And now we're ready for a 1v1 set that we don't know who's coming out in. And that's one thing I love about WCG is they get to decide their third representative. And we're going to find out right now, Rich.
And it's Rad versus Lciop. And what else would you do? You have to send Lciop in the situation. Bans the Goblin Cage. Could you imagine, Andrew, a month ago seeing a Goblin Cage ban?
No, and I love it. The card is so strong right now. Taking it out of play when you're using Royal Giant is a very, very strong move. The counter push potential from that card can be devastating. And now Rad looking for his very first head-to-head win here at WCG 2019.
And it's looking like it might be an RG versus RG matchup. Rad going with the RG Ice Wiz most likely. And there we go, Lciop going RG Furnace. And for those of you playing along at home, you might remember this old song from CRL West. RG Furnace had a below 20% win rate in CRL West, or specifically the Guards version, the Lumberjack version, a little better around 20 to 30%.
You will do whatever you can to smear this deck all over the world, and you know what? I am 100% behind you. It had such a massive play rate with such a low win rate. You gotta switch it up a little bit.
Now the big difference here, though, is we are playing with bans at WCG rather than in CRL West. So does that make the RG Furnace deck a little bit more viable? No Prince, which is a big DPS unit against a Royal Giant, and of course no Goblin Cage, also a nice bit of help there. And in this matchup in particular, the Lumberjacks are going to do a lot of work for Nova Lciop up against Kraz Royal Giant. Yeah, that ranged up Mega Minion getting a big hit on that left-hand tower. Lciop trying to come out on top, and we see he's got the Lightning version. Now the question is, does Rad have the Fireball or the Lightning in his? We will find out. Into double elixir time at the moment. Lciop in the lead. Gets aggressive Royal Giant at the bridge. Yeah, I like that move there. Mega Minion actually focusing on the RG, so the Lciop's Mega Minion able to take it out. And this Royal Giant is not going to single shot off, so very good exchange for the PONOS player. 24 seconds left in regulation. Yeah, a lot of elixir spent on defense, however, so Lciop comfortably putting down that furnace, creating pressure, keeping pressure up on the lane that Rad does not want to focus on. Lightning value right here, Rich. A lot more pressure, and you're right, Andrew, a lot of lightning value. It's the Dark Prince coming down, trying to mitigate some of that value, takes some protection. Wow. But there you go, wiping the entire defensive spread out. We're going to sudden death overtime just as that RG gets a big shot. Yeah, you saw there Lciop opted to go for Dark Prince, Ice Wizard, and the Mega Minion on the Lightning, avoiding the tower, hoping to get more than one hit from his Royal Giant on the tower. Did seem to be the best decision in that moment. Rad just not having enough to deal with the offensive pressure on the right-hand side. Oh, wow. Gets a goal, and gets the RG down finally. Although now, Dark Prince, Royal Giant on the tower, E-Wiz in. It's a race. Rad is going to take this, Rich. He's going to take it right now. Wow. It looked like he may have been committing a bit too much elixir on the left, but he knew he was not going to be able to defend he knew he was going to be able to defend the right adequately with just the NATO kind of delaying death long enough to go for the kill. So Rad gets his first head-to-head victory over Lciop. And it was the timing against that Furnace, knowing the Furnace was one shot at that point, so that Royal Giant would be able to get to tower. And I believe, if I remember serves me correctly, the Lciop threw a second Furnace on the right-hand side, so he knew wasn't dealing with getting pulled, had the opportunity, took the opportunity, and now that's PONOS with 5 games in hand. Lciop at this point just trying to stop the bleeding. 0-4 on the day is Lciop, who many consider the best competitive player in the world, someone who he heralded as most likely the best competitive player in the world, really struggling to find his rhythm here at WCG. That is a big turn of events. 2 more games in this 3-game set, and Rad at this point has done his job. Nothing else he needs to do. So you got to think that at this point with these 2 games, the looseness he'll be playing with benefits him significantly. 100%. We talk about it. When you are down, you make riskier moves to try to get higher payoffs. But when you're in the lead, when you're confident, when you're having a good time, you can play fast and loose because you're not going for those risky plays. You can just kind of hang out, play some strong defense, try to get some chips in on the tower. But the thing is, PONOS is already up 5-2
2, and Rad is on a 4-game win streak.
Yeah, Rad is killing it right now, and this has been a good tournament for him so far. A rough outing yesterday against La Picati, of course. He did only take a 2-0 loss on the 3-0 loss,
right?
So that was big, but right now has gone 4 games in a row. Not just 4 games in a row, 4 games in a row against LCOP. That's huge.
Yeah, and you know, Rad yesterday was so very close to tying things up 1-1 at the end of the day against La Picati. That tower on the left-hand side with those spawners going in was so very low. La Picati managing and controlling that game to perfection. And now we're going to hop into game number 2 of our 3rd and final set of CRL Asia's PONOS against CRL China's Nova Esports, the reigning world champions, on their heels, having a rough start.
And it looks like Rad may be running it back again. Of course, Dark Prince could be in just about any deck on the planet, so we'll see. And here we go, LCOP saying, I'm not fooling around anymore. Bridge spam from one of the best bridge spam players on the entire planet. And so far looking like he's just going straight up traditional P.E.K.K.A. Ewiz bridge spam. We'll see if the rest of the cards fall out in that same way. Now, Rad does like playing a lot of Lava Miner. We see him going to the air a bit here with this Inferno Dragon.
Yeah, and LCOP, we just talked about maybe the best competitive player in the world, but he is, without a doubt, the best P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam player in the world.
First minute down, LCOP out to a very, very good lead.
He does miss that baby dragon pull though, Rich.
Miner defensively for Rad, and it's looking more and more like Rad might be going with his favorite deck. So here we go. Rad now has battled back. The dual lane pressure has come in from LCOP, but Rad does take the single tower lead. And LCOP choosing just to eat that baby dragon damage, knowing that's not the most important thing to deal with right now.
Yeah, very happy to just take some of that damage to conserve some of his elixir, and now we're going to see probably dual lane pressure coming from LCOP. Oh, never mind. He's going to go P.E.K.K.A. right into the bridge.
Very aggressive P.E.K.K.A. and the Barb gets in the front just enough to keep that Inferno Dragon being hit by those minions. Very nice sequence for the PONOS player. Yeah,
a really nice zap coming in from LCOP to make sure that that Dark Prince does not create more pressure from Rad. LCOP now going to have to figure out a way to get that E-Wiz on the Inferno Dragon or conserve his zap and create opposite lane pressure.
And now Rad chooses to chime the lava up. Does not quite give up the contact with those barbs. Will do a lot of damage on tower.
Yeah.
And Royal Ghost left-hand side as well.
I was going to say, that Royal Ghost is going to do work on that left-hand tower. And now the Inferno Dragon out of cycle for the P.E.K.K.A. What will LCOP do with that in mind?
26 seconds left. No Miner coming in. Second Lava Hound. Rad choosing to sell out here in the left-hand lane. Going, I'm not even worried about the right. Can I just take this tower down and extend this game? Miner defensively in against the Bandit.
And you knew that E-Wiz was going to come down when that first Lava Hound popped to take care of those pups and create a bit of a stumble for that Inferno Dragon. So now LCOP in control, although only 655 remaining on his right-hand tower.
480 left-hand side for Rad. Tombstone comes down to pick up that push.
Bandit will get the dash.
Wow.
That's going to do it, Rich. LCOP coming back in game number 2 with his comfort deck.
But Rad did a great job there. It looked like he was completely dead in the water at the midway point of that game, and then did a good job, got damage on the right-hand side, put pressure on the left, made that very, very interesting down the stretch, just couldn't keep up with bridge spam as it got late game.
And I have to admit, I don't really love that second high Lava Hound at the river from Rad, knowing that the E-Wiz was in cycle. That was obviously the play that LCOP was going to go for because he had a Lava Hound and an Inferno Dragon. Lava Hound pops, all of a sudden that E-Wiz gets so much value for LCOP, and in turn was able to create a lot of pressure in the opposite lane.
And you saw the Bandit dash just sneaking in there. Tombstone to pick it up, but the Bandit E-Wiz combination took care of the Tombstone very easily, and then the Miner defensively just not there in time to stop what was really going to be a deadly situation anyway.
And here's one of the things that we didn't see a lot of was Royal Ghost throughout the season. For some reason with the nerf, it has kind of fallen out of play, but that's one of the things we recognized last year at World Finals. Cards that had been nerfed that fell out of the meta in NA and EU, which is now CRL West, were still played heavily in CRL Asia and CRL China. And you saw right there, the Royal Ghost got so much damage on that left-hand tower.
We saw some traditional bridge spam this year in CRL West, but definitely saw a lot more going to the Dark Prince direction with how popular he's been at this stage. But you saw there, this is a deck that just won't die. No matter what happens, Pekka Iwa's bridge spam, that traditional build, just stays around forever no matter what the meta does.
And you and I actually talked about this a couple days ago. I was just saying to you how crazy it is that no matter what shifts in the meta, this deck is always so prevalent, whether it's in GCs, whether it's the top of ladder, whether it's in competitive play. And when you play it the way that LCOP did, you see exactly why.
So here we go, a game in hand for each LCOP, trying to get one more, make it a 4-5 fall to PONOS rather than a potential 6-3 or even a 5-3 if we go 0-0 for a draw here.
Yeah, and that's a big, big moment for CRL China. They really, really do not want to start off with that big of a deficit. You saw how close everything was yesterday, and you have to imagine that's exactly how it's going to be moving throughout the rest of this weekend.
So here we go, game number 3. Game in hand for each player. Rad, top of your screen. LCOP, bottom of your screen.
Just to remind you of the bans, although I'm sure you can see them on the screen, we have Rad from PONOS banning the Prince and LCOP with the new ban, the Goblin Cage ban.
So LCOP had so much success bridge spam last game. It looks unlikely he's going back there again at this stage, but you never know. First minute almost away, both players. Now remember, these players are sitting just mere feet from each other.
Yeah.
They can look up and look into each other's eyes.
That's probably what they're doing right now, is having a staring contest until we get into double elixir time. I would bet money on it, Rich, and honestly, I would never want to get in a staring contest with LCOP.
Yeah, it seems like that'd be very difficult to win.
I've never seen him blink in 2 years.
The glare is really kind of intimidating. Although Rad, I feel like I can make him laugh and win the contest.
This is true. I mean, that's a good point.
45 seconds left before double elixir time, and just to tell you a little bit about Xi'an, China, this is one of the sort of the more historical cities in the region. You know, a lot of China has been built up to be newer, to be more shiny. Talking about Beijing, talking about Shanghai, but Xi'an is a place where its tourist draw is that it has a lot of history here.
And one of the coolest things about the terracotta soldiers is you can actually go and get your picture taken with the guy who discovered them. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
That, like, living in China, living in Xi'an, all of a sudden, like, I mean, I don't know if he was digging in his backyard or what, and all of a sudden you find the terracotta soldiers, just a legendary man himself.
It's like taking a picture with the Chinese Indiana Jones. So
I love it.
And it is golem for LCOP, an immediate Baby Dragon Graveyard push left-hand lane.
Wow, that is a very, very interesting play. You don't really see Graveyard held a lot until double elixir time. Oh. And the freeze comes in, tower down. That was beautiful.
Rad went ham on that left-hand lane, and now Bowler, Graveyard, Ice Wiz.
Wow.
This is wild.
This is a classic splash yard with freeze coming in. Very fascinating. There's the NATO to bring it all together. Will LCOP be able to break through with that defensive freeze? I think not, my friend.
This looks like Rad is going to take 5 games to 1 against LCOP overall today.
Oh, okay. Dark Prince comes down, but the Baby Dragon is on the tower. This actually might be evened up very quickly, Rich. He's spamming that bridge like crazy.
Lumberjack coming in, trying to get there. That's a brilliant NATO. Lumberjack doesn't quite turn.
The NATO battles. You love what LCOP was going for. The BM freeze at the bridge. And Rad, PONOS Esports come out 6-3. What a showing. I love that he held that Graveyard until double elixir time. I don't think anyone was expecting it. You know LCOP wasn't. And here's the other thing. When he went with that golem push, Rad had 10 elixir in hand to defend.
That was absolutely crazy. And let's talk about the 2,000 IQ play from LCOP there to pull that, use the NATO, pull the Ice Wiz out of the way, and take that Lumberjack right to the tower. But then 3,000 IQ back going. with a star-making turn here, going 5-1 against Elsiop in 2 back-to-back sets.
Unbelievable performance from PONOS today, and that was just absolutely astounding. That's one of the things about holding your cards until you get to double elixir time. You don't have a lot of time to recover if your opponent plays sound defense, and that's exactly what Rad did. Now, Elsiop went nuts at the end at the bridge, trying to break through, doing whatever he could. You talked about the NATO, but just not enough time for him to get a big push once again.
The patience with the freeze on that opening play exhibited by Rad. I mean, he took a long, to the point where I was like, if he has a freeze, when's it coming down?
Right.
It felt like there was going to be a freeze, but it kept on not, and perfect, absolute brilliant timing from the PONOS player. Takes the tower, put Elsiop in a tough position, and then played perfect defense on the back end.
I mean, here's the thing. You don't see freeze a ton in head-to-head competitive play. We've seen it a lot in 2v2. But freeze almost always catches you off guard. And right then, Elsiop was thinking, I can probably play sound enough defense, mitigate a decent enough amount of damage to preserve enough health on my left-hand tower. But then the freeze came in, and that was it. PONOS coming out on top, 6-3 in match number 1 today.
So that's a big, great way to open up WCG today. We've got more Clash Royale coming your way. We'll be back in just a bit.